The alarm blared through the command center. Red lights flashed as military personnel rushed to their stations. Commander Alan Wright strode across the room, his face grim but determined. Today was the day humanity would learn its fate. "Status report," he demanded as he reached the central console. "The Galactic Council transmission is coming through now, sir," replied Lieutenant Steve Garcia, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. The massive screen at the front of the room flickered to life. Before them appeared a semicircle of alien beings, each different from the next. Some had scales, others had multiple eyes or strange appendages. They sat in elaborate chairs around a crescent-shaped table. At the center sat a tall, blue-skinned humanoid with silver eyes that seemed to look through rather than at the humans watching. "I am High Counselor Zorax," the blue alien said, its voice translated into English with an unnatural flatness. "This session of the Galactic Council has concluded its deliberations regarding planet Earth." Commander Wright straightened his uniform. 6 months ago, humanity had discovered it wasn't alone in the universe. The Galactic Council had sent scouts to Earth, studied humans, and now they would announce their decision about Earth's status in the galactic community. "The Council recognizes 27 advanced civilizations across this sector of the galaxy," Zorax continued. "After careful consideration of human technological development, cultural achievements, and biological factors, we have voted on your classification." The room fell silent. Not even breathing could be heard. By a vote of 18 to 9, Earth has been classified as a Category 3 primitive species. Wright's blood ran cold. He knew what that meant. Every human in the room did. The alien representatives had explained the categories during preliminary meetings. Category 3 meant a species could be harvested for resources and labor. As is standard procedure, you will be given 1 standard galactic year to prepare your population. The collection fleet will arrive after this grace period to begin the extraction of valuable minerals and the conscription of suitable workers. "This is outrageous," shouted General Patricia Rodriguez, stepping forward. "We are an independent species with rights to our own planet and our own destiny." Several of the Alien Council members shifted uncomfortably, but Zorax remained impassive. "Your objection is noted but irrelevant. The vote has been cast according to our ancient laws. You may use your preparation time as you see fit. The suitable human specimens will be valuable in the mineral mines of Proxima Centauri and the gas harvesters of Tau Ceti." With that, the transmission cut off, leaving the humans staring at a blank screen. "Get me the president," Wright ordered, his voice barely above a whisper. Within hours, world leaders gathered in an emergency virtual summit. Panic spread across the globe as the news leaked. Religious groups proclaimed the end times. Some people committed suicide rather than face alien enslavement. Others built bunkers and stockpiled weapons. In her underground laboratory in Colorado, Dr. Olivia Martinez ignored the chaos above ground. She hadn't slept in 3 days, ever since she'd noticed something strange in the brain scans of humans who had interacted with alien technology. "Run the simulation again," she told her assistant, Peter Adams, a young physicist with tired eyes and rumpled clothes. "Dr. Martinez, this is the 12th time. The results won't change," Peter protested. "Just do it," she insisted, taking another sip of cold coffee. The computers hummed as they processed the data. The holographic display showed human brainwave patterns alongside alien neural structures. "There!" Olivia pointed excitedly at a pattern that appeared in the human scans, but was absent in the alien data. "Do you see it?" Peter leaned closer. "That's just background noise in the quantum field measurements. We've been ignoring it as statistical error." "It's not error. It's a pattern. Humans are perceiving quantum entanglement states." Her eyes gleamed with excitement. "The aliens don't do this. Their brains aren't structured for it." "So what?" Peter asked. "How does that help us against ships that can cross galaxies?" "Because," Olivia said, her voice dropping to a whisper, "what if we could train people to not just perceive these states but manipulate them?" 2 weeks later, Commander Wright sat across from Dr. Martinez in a secure conference room deep beneath the Pentagon. Between them lay reports, brain scans, and preliminary test results. "Let me make sure I understand," Wright said slowly. Humans can sense quantum entanglement on some unconscious level, and you believe we can develop this into a usable ability? Not all humans, Olivia clarified. About 30% show strong enough perception to be trainable. But yes, with the right exercises, they can learn to consciously detect and eventually influence quantum states. And this helps us against the aliens. How exactly? Their technology, their computers, their weapons, everything operates on principles that account for normal quantum fluctuations. But they've never encountered beings who can directly manipulate those states. She leaned forward. It would be like having a secret key to their systems that they don't even know exists. Wright rubbed his temples. So you're saying we train people to become, what, quantum wizards? I'm saying we have 1 year to create a defense that the aliens can't possibly expect. 3 days later, the project received presidential approval. The best scientists, engineers, and military minds gathered at facilities around the world. They called it Project Defiance. In Ohio, Lisa Keller taught her high school physics class about electron orbits, unaware that her life was about to change forever. When the government representatives approached her after school, she thought she was in trouble. Your brain scans from your recent physical show exceptional quantum perception abilities, Ms. Keller. The woman in the black suit explained. We'd like you to consider volunteering for a special program. I'm just a teacher, Lisa protested. Not anymore, the woman replied. Now you might be humanity's best hope. In San Diego, former Navy SEAL Jack Simmons led a team examining recovered alien technology from a scout ship that had crashed 2 years before the council revealed itself. The government had kept it secret, studying the strange metals and crystals without making much progress. Try again with the neural interface, he instructed the scientist beside him. If Dr. Martinez is right, someone with strong quantum perception might be able to activate it. Miles away, alien monitoring devices picked up unusual energy signatures from various human facilities. The data was noted but dismissed as irrelevant. After all, what could primitives possibly discover in a single year that advanced civilizations had missed over millennia? As the months passed, Earth changed. Nations set aside old conflicts and united against the common threat. Humanity's best minds worked tirelessly, fueled by desperation and hope. In her training chamber, Lisa Keller closed her eyes and concentrated. Around her, quantum sensors recorded her progress as she attempted to influence the state of particles, with her mind alone. At first, the changes were tiny, barely measurable, but with each session, her control grew stronger. Remarkable, whispered Dr. Martinez as she watched the readings. She's progressing twice as fast as any of our other recruits. Commander Wright nodded. How soon can we start integrating these abilities with the modified alien tech? We already have. Jack's team has retrofit 3 prototype fighters. With quantum-enhanced pilots, they're performing beyond anything we thought possible. Far above Earth, in a massive ship approaching the solar system, Admiral Zorlak of the Draconid Empire reviewed the invasion plans one final time. The collection should be simple. Humans had primitive weapons and no space defense capabilities worth mentioning. Little did he know that humanity was about to show the galaxy why you should never underestimate a species fighting for its survival. 6 months had passed since the Galactic Council's vote to enslave humanity. The world's citizens knew the truth now. Some countries had experienced riots and looting at first, but those had faded as a strange, determined calm settled over Earth. Humanity had always been at its best when facing impossible odds. Project Defiance headquarters buzzed with activity. The massive underground complex stretched for miles beneath the Rocky Mountains. Scientists, soldiers, and quantum-gifted civilians worked side by side, united by a single goal: survival. Lisa Keller sat cross-legged in a circular chamber lined with sensors. Her eyes were closed, her breathing steady. In front of her floated a small piece of alien metal, hovering without any visible means of support. Incredible, whispered Dr. Martinez from behind the observation glass. She's maintaining quantum coherence across a macroscopic object. Commander Wright nodded. How many like her do we have now? Nearly 10,000 with similar abilities. Another 50,000 with lesser but still useful talents. We're finding more every day as our testing programs expand. Lisa opened her eyes, and the metal gently lowered to the floor. She looked tired but satisfied. "That's enough for today," Dr. Martinez said through the intercom. "You've made excellent progress." Lisa stood up, rolling her shoulders to release the tension. 6 months ago, she had been teaching physics to uninterested teenagers. Now she was learning to manipulate reality at its most fundamental level. "Will it be enough?" she asked when she joined them in the observation room. "The collection fleet arrives in 6 months." Wright's face remained neutral, but his eyes showed concern. "It has to be." Across the facility, Jack Simmons watched as engineers worked on a modified fighter ship. The craft had begun as a human design, but now incorporated alien technology, enhanced by quantum principles. "Run the simulation again," he ordered. The technician at the computer nodded and initiated the program. On the large screen, a virtual version of the fighter engaged with alien ship designs based on data from the scout vessels. "Conventional weapons barely scratch their shields," the technician noted. "Now add in a quantum-enhanced pilot," Jack said. The simulation changed. The fighter's movements became unpredictable, almost impossible to track. It seemed to anticipate enemy attacks before they happened. The alien ship's targeting systems couldn't lock on. "That's better," Jack said with a grim smile. "But we need more. Show me the quantum torpedo design." The screen changed to display a strange-looking missile. Unlike conventional weapons, this one had a core designed to be manipulated by a quantum-gifted operator. In theory, it could phase partially out of normal space, bypassing shields entirely. "Has it been tested yet?" Jack asked. "Scheduled for tomorrow. We have 5 prototypes ready." Jack nodded and left the engineering bay, heading toward the command center. The plan was coming together, but time was running short. In the command center, military leaders from around the world sat around a large table. Holograms displayed Earth's defenses and the latest intelligence on the approaching collection fleet. "They're still 6 months out," General Rodriguez reported. "Our deep space monitoring stations confirm 500 ships, mostly large transports and processing facilities. They're expecting an easy harvest, not a fight." "What about our space assets?" asked the Chinese general. "We have 75 quantum-enhanced fighters. Ready now. Another 150 will be complete within 3 months. The orbital defense platforms are at 60% completion. Ground-based quantum cannons are operational at 30 key locations." Commander Wright entered the room and took his seat. "The question isn't whether we can hurt them. We can. The question is whether we can hurt them enough to make them leave us alone." "We don't just want them to leave," Dr. Martinez said, following Wright into the room. "We need to ensure they never come back. That means making a statement the entire Galactic Council will understand." Silence fell over the room as her words sank in. They weren't just planning a defense. They were planning to change humanity's place in the galaxy forever. At a remote training facility in the Australian outback, 50 of the most promising quantum-gifted humans practiced working as a team. They sat in a circle, minds joined in, ways that would have seemed like science fiction a year ago. Together, they created a quantum shield that could theoretically protect a small city from orbital bombardment. The energy required was enormous, but by working in harmony, they managed to distribute the load. "Hold it steady," instructed their trainer, a former meditation guru named Bill who had shown surprising aptitude for quantum work. "Feel the connections between your minds. Don't force it. Allow it to flow naturally." The shield shimmered in the air above them, visible only because of special cameras designed to detect quantum fluctuations. 5 minutes, Bill announced proudly as they finally released the shield. "That's a new record. At this rate, you'll be able to maintain city shields for hours by the time the aliens arrive." One of the younger participants, a college student, named Ryan, looked up with tired eyes. "Will it be enough to stop their ships?" Bill put a hand on his shoulder. "It's not just about stopping ships, it's about showing them something they've never seen before." In orbit around Mars, hidden from casual observation, Earth's first quantum-enhanced spaceship prepared for its maiden voyage. Named the Defiance, it combined the best of human innovation with reverse-engineered alien technology. Captain Susan Miller floated through the bridge, checking each station personally. The crew of 50 included 20 quantum-gifted individuals who would serve as the ship's special weapons and defense operators. "Engine room reports ready, Captain," her first officer reported. "Navigation systems aligned and operational. Quantum core stable and responsive." Susan took her seat in the command chair. "This is it, people. Our first real test. If this works, we prove that humans can not only fight back, we can take the fight to them." The ship hummed with energy as its engines powered up. Unlike conventional spacecraft, the Defiance could manipulate spacetime itself, creating a controlled, quantum bubble that allowed it to move in ways that defied normal physics. "Set course for the Jupiter observation post," Susan ordered. "Let's see what this ship can really do." The Defiance disappeared in a flash of blue light, reappearing near Jupiter seconds later, a journey that should have taken days. "Position confirmed, Captain. We're exactly where we should be," the navigator reported, his voice filled with awe. Susan allowed herself a small smile. "Send the message to command. Test successful." Back on Earth, Commander Wright received the news with the first real hope he'd felt in months. Humanity now had a ship that could travel between stars. They could take the fight directly to the Galactic Council if necessary. Admiral Zorlak, commander of the approaching collection fleet, received a troubling report from the advanced scouts. Unusual energy signatures were being detected from Earth, patterns that didn't match known human technology. "Increase speed," he ordered. "I want to reach Earth before they can organize any meaningful resistance." Little did he know that with each passing day, humanity's resistance grew stronger. The species that the Galactic Council had voted to enslave was preparing a welcome that would change the course of galactic history. The alarm sounded across every city on Earth. The collection fleet had arrived early, appearing in Earth's orbit without warning. 500 massive ships, each larger than the largest human aircraft carrier, moved into position around the planet. In the Project Defiance command center, screens lit up with warning signals. Commander Wright rushed in, still pulling on his uniform jacket. "Status report," he shouted. "They're here, sir," Lieutenant Garcia responded, his face pale but determined. 3 months ahead of schedule, they've taken up positions over major cities. Wright's jaw tightened. "Deploy the quantum shield teams, launch all available fighters. This is not a drill, people." Around the world, the specially trained quantum-gifted humans gathered in protected bunkers. In groups of 50, they joined, their minds together, creating invisible shields of altered spacetime over major population centers. Lisa Keller sat at the center of the Denver SHIELD team, her eyes closed in concentration. The other team members channeled their energy through her, amplifying her natural abilities. "SHIELD at 80% strength and holding," reported a technician monitoring their output. "Alien ships are scanning but not yet firing." In orbit, Admiral Zorlak watched the planet with growing confusion. His sensors detected strange energy fields forming around human cities, fields that didn't match any known technology. "Begin the landing sequence," he ordered. "Deploy harvester units to the largest population centers." Hundreds of smaller ships detached from the main fleet and descended toward Earth. They looked like giant metal insects, with multiple appendages designed to capture humans and load them into holding containers. "Sir, the first wave of harvesters has entered Earth's atmosphere," reported an officer on Zorlak's bridge. "Excellent. Prepare the processing ships to receive the first batch of workers." But as the harvester ships approached the cities, they encountered the invisible quantum shields. The ships slammed into the barriers, unable to pass through. Several exploded on impact, while others spun out of control. Zorlak stared at his display, in disbelief. "What is happening? How are primitives generating these shields?" "Unknown, Admiral," his science officer replied. "The energy signatures do not match any known technology." Before Zorlak could issue new orders, Earth's quantum-enhanced fighters launched from hidden bases around the planet. 50 sleek, black ships rose into the sky, piloted by humans with exceptional quantum abilities. Jack Simmons led the American squadron. His mind merged with his fighter through the neural interface. He could feel the quantum state of his ship, adjusting it with his thoughts to move in ways that should have been impossible. "All wings report in," he said over the comm. European squadron ready. Asian squadron ready. African squadron ready. Australian squadron ready. Remember your training, Jack told them. They can't track what they can't predict. Hit their E. Command ships first. The human fighters accelerated toward the alien fleet, moving with unnatural speed and precision. The aliens fired energy weapons, but the beams passed through empty space as the human ships shifted their quantum states, becoming partially out of phase with normal reality. In the Project Defiance Command Center, Dr. Martinez watched the battle unfold on the tactical displays. "It's working," she exclaimed. "Their targeting systems can't lock onto our fighters." Commander Wright nodded grimly. "Now let's see if our weapons work as well as our defenses." In space, Jack Simmons targeted one of the larger alien ships. Quantum torpedoes armed, firing. Shunder. Strange missiles launched from his fighter, trailing blue energy as they flew toward the alien vessel. Unlike conventional weapons, these passed straight through the alien shields as if they weren't there, phasing into the ship's hull before detonating. The alien ship broke apart, its engines exploding in a brilliant flash of light. "Direct hit," Jack reported. "All squadrons target the command ships." Admiral Zorlak watched in horror as his fleet began taking damage. These humans were using weapons and defensive techniques unlike anything the Galactic Council had ever encountered. "Launch all fighters," he ordered. "Destroy those human ships." Thousands of alien fighters poured out of the larger vessels, swarming toward the human squadrons. But they faced an enemy that could predict their movements before they made them, could phase in and out of normal space, and could strike through their strongest shields. The space around Earth became a chaotic battlefield. Though outnumbered, the human fighters used their quantum advantages to devastating effect. On the ground, Lisa Keller and the other SHIELD teams protected the cities from orbital bombardment. When the aliens tried to fire energy weapons at Earth's surface, the beams diffused harmlessly against the quantum shields. In Australia, a SHIELD team faltered as exhaustion set in. The quantum manipulation drained their energy rapidly. As their shield weakened, an alien harvester managed to break through, landing in downtown Sydney. The massive insect-like machine began grabbing humans from the streets with mechanical tentacles, but it wasn't prepared for what happened next. Squad of soldiers equipped with quantum-enhanced weapons arrived on the scene. Their rifles fired bullets that phased through the harvester's armor, striking vital components inside. Within minutes, the alien machine lay disabled. Similar scenes played out around the world as humanity fought back against the invaders with weapons and abilities the aliens had never imagined possible. In orbit, the Defiance finally joined the battle. Captain Susan Miller's ship emerged from its hiding place behind the moon, heading straight for Admiral Zorlak's command vessel. "All quantum systems operating at peak efficiency," reported her first officer. "Target their command ship," Susan ordered. "Prepare the main quantum cannon." The Defiance's primary weapon charged with energy, drawing power from the quantum abilities of its crew. When it fired, a beam of blue-white light lanced across space, cutting through multiple alien vessels before striking Zorlak's command ship. On his bridge, Admiral Zorlak was thrown to the floor as explosions ripped through his vessel. Warning: alarms blared from every console. Shields failing. Engines offline. Weapon systems compromised. His officers reported in quick succession. Zorlak stared at the view screen in disbelief. A single human ship had crippled his command vessel. The collection fleet, which had expected an easy harvest, was being decimated by an enemy they had dismissed as primitive. "How?" he whispered. "How is this possible?" In the Project Defiance Command Center, Commander Wright watched as the tide of battle turned in humanity's favor. Despite being outmatched in terms of numbers and conventional technology, Earth's quantum-enhanced defenses were holding. "We need to press our advantage," he said. "Dr. Martinez, can you still access their communication systems?" Olivia nodded. "The quantum intrusion team broke their encryption an hour ago. We can broadcast on all their channels." "Good. It's time to deliver our message." Throughout the alien fleet, communication screens suddenly activated. Commander Wright's face appeared, his expression stern and resolute. "This is Commander Alan Wright of Earth Defense Force. Your invasion has failed. Your ships are being destroyed. We offer you one chance. Retreat immediately and take this message to the Galactic Council. He leaned closer to the camera. Earth is not yours to harvest. Humans are not yours to enslave. We have discovered abilities your kind cannot comprehend. If you return, we will not show mercy. And tell your council this. We now know the location of your headquarters, and we are coming for those who voted against us. Admiral Zorlak, watching from his damaged bridge, felt something he had never experienced before. Fear of a species he had considered primitive. He knew then that the galaxy was about to change forever. 3 months after the failed invasion, Earth had transformed. The remains of alien ships provided valuable technology that accelerated human progress by decades. More importantly, the secret of quantum perception had spread. Training centers operated in every major city, helping people develop abilities they never knew they possessed. In the expanded Project Defiance headquarters, Commander Wright reviewed the final plans for humanity's counterstrike. Giant screens displayed the fleet of 200 ships that Earth had built using reverse-engineered alien technology, combined with human quantum enhancements. All vessels report ready, sir, Lieutenant Garcia informed him. Crews are at full strength, quantum core systems are stable. Wright nodded. And our target? Dr. Martinez stepped forward. The quantum intrusion team extracted the exact coordinates of the Galactic Council headquarters from Admiral Zorlak's ship before it retreated. It's a massive space station orbiting a star at the center of Council territory. What about defenses? Asked General Rodriguez. Substantial, but nothing we haven't prepared for, Jack Simmons replied. He had been promoted to colonel after leading the fighter defense during the invasion. They still don't understand how our quantum abilities work, which gives us the advantage. Wright took a deep breath. This isn't just about revenge. We need to secure humanity's place in the galaxy and free the other species they've enslaved. Dr. Martinez, what did you find in their archives? Olivia's face darkened. The Council has been classifying planets as primitive for centuries. There are at least 27 species currently enslaved in mining operations, gas harvesting, and agricultural planets. Some have been captive for generations. Lisa Keller, now General Keller after her exceptional leadership during the invasion, spoke up. We can free them. With our quantum abilities, we can teach other species to develop their own potential. Wright looked around the room at Earth's military and scientific leadership. The vote to enslave us may have been the worst mistake the Galactic Council ever made, not just for them, but for every species they've oppressed. Today, we change the balance of power. Today, we show them that humans don't just survive, we thrive against all odds. He turned to the communications officer. Send the signal. Operation Liberation begins now. Across the planet, the newly built quantum-enhanced ships lifted off, assembling in Earth orbit. The flagship, a massive vessel named Justice, carried Wright, Martinez, Keller, and Simmons, along with Earth's most talented quantum operators and diplomatic representatives from every major nation. Captain Susan Miller, now Admiral Miller after her actions in the Defiance, stood on the bridge of the Justice. All ships report ready, Commander. Quantum jump systems aligned. Thank you, Admiral, Wright replied. Begin the countdown. The fleet of 200 ships disappeared in flashes of blue light, leaving Earth behind as they jumped across vast interstellar distances. The quantum drives, enhanced by human operators who could feel and manipulate quantum states, allowed them to travel faster than any alien vessel. In the Galactic Council headquarters, High Counselor Zorax presided over an emergency session. The massive chamber held representatives from all 27 member species, though many seats remained empty. Several counselors had resigned after the disastrous Earth invasion attempt. The human problem must be contained, Zorax insisted. We must send a larger fleet, with our most advanced weapons. A reptilian counselor named Thrax hissed in disagreement. The collection fleet was destroyed by weapons we don't understand. Admiral Zorlak's report described abilities that should be impossible for organic beings. They are merely clever primitives who stumbled upon advanced technology, Zorax dismissed. With proper preparation, the chamber's warning systems suddenly blared to life. On the large screens surrounding the council table, hundreds of ships appeared surrounding the station. "Impossible," gasped Zorax. "How did they find us? How did they get here so quickly?" The screens changed to show Commander Wright's face. "This is Commander Alan Wright of Earth. Your station is surrounded. Your defenses are insufficient against our quantum-enhanced weapons. We demand an immediate emergency session of the full Galactic Council." Zorax's blue skin paled to a sickly gray. We do not negotiate with primitives." "Then you will fall with your station," Wright replied coldly. "You have 10 minutes to agree to our terms." The counselors erupted in panicked discussion. Several immediately called for surrender while others insisted they should fight. Before they could reach a decision, the station shook violently. "What was that?" demanded Zorax. His aide checked the console. "A human boarding party has breached the main docking bay. Our security forces they're being overwhelmed." Jack Simmons led the assault team through the alien station. His soldiers, all equipped with quantum-enhanced armor and weapons, moved with unnatural speed and precision. Alien security forces fired energy weapons, but the beams passed harmlessly through quantum-shifted human soldiers. "Main control center is 2 levels up," Jack informed his team through their neural link. "Remember, minimal casualties. We want to make a point, not start a massacre." Within minutes, they reached the council chamber doors. The massive metal barriers were designed to withstand any conventional attack. Jack placed his hand on the surface, closing his eyes as he extended his quantum perception into the locking mechanism. The complex system of energy fields and mechanical components became clear in his mind. With a thought, he altered the quantum state of key components and the doors slid open. The assault team entered the council chamber, weapons ready but not firing. The alien counselors froze in shock and fear. Jack activated his comm. Chamber secured, bringing in the diplomatic team. Lisa Keller entered the chamber next, along with representatives from Earth's governments. She walked directly to the center of the room, her presence commanding despite her average height. "My name is General Lisa Keller of Earth," she announced. "By right of conquest and in the name of justice, I demand an emergency vote of the full Council." Zorax, still standing at the head of the table, found his voice. "This is unprecedented. You cannot simply invade the sacred chambers of the Galactic Council and demand—" "We can and we have," Lisa interrupted. "Your vote to enslave us gave us the right to defend ourselves by any means necessary. Now you will listen." She gestured, and Dr. Martinez entered carrying a data device. "We have accessed your archives. We know about the 27 species you've enslaved over the centuries. We know about the resource extraction, the forced labor, the separation of families." The counselors shifted uncomfortably as their secrets were exposed. "The vote regarding Earth's status will be reversed immediately," Lisa continued. "Furthermore, all enslaved species will be freed and granted full autonomy. The Galactic Council will be restructured to ensure equal representation for all spacefaring civilizations." "And if we refuse?" Zorax challenged, though his voice trembled. Commander Wright stepped forward. "Then humanity will dismantle the Council by force and free those species ourselves. Make no mistake, we have the ability to do so." To demonstrate, Lisa raised her hand. The massive stone table at the center of the chamber began to float, lifted by her quantum manipulation alone. The aliens watched in stunned silence as she gently set it back down. "We offer you a choice," Wright said more softly. "Work with us to build a more just galaxy, or stand against us and fall. The vote is yours." One by one, the counselors looked at each other. Then, for the first time in the history of the Galactic Council, they began to vote not out of self-interest, but out of fear of what would happen if they didn't. 5 years had passed since humanity confronted the Galactic Council. The massive space station that once housed the Council had been transformed. Now called the Galactic Alliance Headquarters, its chambers welcomed representatives from all spacefaring species, including those formerly enslaved. Ambassador Alan Wright, once a military commander, walked through the grand central hall. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved about, some nodding respectfully as he passed. The walls displayed holographic images of different worlds, including a beautiful view of Earth with its blue oceans and swirling white clouds. "The Rigelian delegates have arrived, Ambassador," his assistant informed him. "They're waiting in conference room 3. "Thank you, I'll see them now," Wright replied. He entered the conference room where 3 tall, gray-skinned beings stood by the window. They turned as he entered, their large eyes blinking rapidly, a sign of excitement in their species. "Ambassador, Wright," the lead delegate said, her translator converting her musical language to English. "We bring wonderful news. The Quantum Training Center on Rigel 4 has produced its first graduates. 20 of our people can now maintain stable quantum shields." Wright smiled broadly. "That's excellent progress. Dr. Martinez will be delighted to hear it." After the restructuring of the Council into the Galactic Alliance, Dr. Olivia Martinez had established quantum training centers on 20 formerly enslaved worlds. Some species showed more natural ability than others, but all could develop at least basic quantum perception with proper training. "Please extend our deepest gratitude to the doctor," the Rigelian said. "For generations, my people believed we were lesser beings, incapable of the higher functions that our Draconid masters possessed. Now we know the truth. We were simply never given the chance to discover our own abilities." Wright nodded. That was the greatest crime of the Old Council. Not just the physical enslavement, but the deliberate suppression of potential. After concluding the meeting with the Rigelians, Wright headed to the main Alliance chamber for the scheduled session. The circular room had been redesigned to ensure equal seating for all member species. Gone was the elevated platform where the privileged few had once looked down on others. In the center of the chamber stood General Lisa Keller, now the Supreme Commander of the Galactic Peacekeeping Force. Her hair had a few strands of gray now, but her posture remained straight and powerful. She was delivering a report on the latest peacekeeping missions. "The dispute between the Proxima and Centauri colonies has been resolved through diplomatic channels," she informed the gathered representatives. "No military intervention was required. Additionally, our patrols have eliminated 3 illegal slaving operations in the outer sectors." Wright took his seat just as Lisa finished her report. She noticed him and gave a small nod before returning to her own place. The Alliance leader, a position that rotated between species every 2 years, rose to speak. Currently, the role was filled by a former slave from the mines of Tau Ceti, a 4-armed being named Chorus, whose people had been among the first liberated by human forces. "Our next agenda item concerns the application from the Draconid Empire to rejoin the Alliance," Chorus announced. A murmur ran through the chamber. The Draconids had been one of the most powerful members of the Old Council, and among the most enthusiastic supporters of enslaving primitive species. After the restructuring, they had withdrawn from galactic politics entirely, retreating to their home systems. "Ambassador Wright, as the representative from Earth, your input is particularly valued on this matter," Chorus said. Wright stood, feeling the eyes of hundreds of beings upon him. "Earth's position is clear. The Galactic Alliance was founded on principles of equality and freedom for all sentient species. If the Draconids truly accept these principles and are prepared to make amends for their past actions, they should be welcomed back into the galactic community." Several representatives nodded in agreement, while others seemed more hesitant. "I would like to add," Wright continued, "that this is precisely what makes our alliance different from the Old Council. We do not exclude or subjugate. We offer opportunities for growth and redemption." The vote that followed was not unanimous, but the majority supported readmitting the Draconids under strict conditions. Wright felt a sense of pride as he observed the democratic process unfold, a process that would have been unthinkable under the old regime. After the session, Wright met with Jack Simmons in one of the station's observation lounges. Jack had retired from active military service 2 years ago, and now ran the Galactic Defense Academy on Mars, where cadets from 40 different species trained together. "How are the new recruits shaping up?" Wright asked as they looked out at the stars. Jack smiled. "Better than I expected. The Aldebarans have an incredible natural talent for quantum navigation, and you should see the Procyon cadets in combat exercises, faster than any human I've ever trained. And they all work together? No conflicts?" Oh, there are conflicts. Jack chuckled. Just like any group of young beings thrown together, but they solve them, learn from each other. It's inspiring, actually. Wright nodded, gazing out at the vast expanse of space. Sometimes I still find it hard to believe. 5 years ago, we were preparing for enslavement. Now we're leading a galactic renaissance. All because they voted to enslave us, Jack mused. Biggest mistake they ever made. On the other side of the station, Dr. Olivia Martinez sat in her laboratory, reviewing data from the various quantum training centers across the galaxy. The results continued to exceed expectations. Gentle knock at her door interrupted her work. She looked up to see Susan Miller, now Grand Admiral Miller of the Alliance Fleet. "Got a minute, Olivia?" Susan asked. "For you, always." Olivia set aside her data pad. "What's on your mind?" Susan sat down with a sigh. "I've been thinking about retirement. Maybe it's time to let the younger generation take over." "Having doubts about your capabilities?" Olivia asked with a smile. "No, nothing like that, just we've accomplished so much. Sometimes I wonder what's next." Olivia gestured to the star map on her wall, with its thousands of glittering points of light. "There's an entire galaxy out there, Susan. Countless worlds we haven't yet visited, species we haven't met, and who knows what lies beyond our galaxy." Susan's eyes brightened at the thought. "You're right. There's still so much to explore." In a quiet corner of Earth, in a small house surrounded by trees, Lisa Keller sat on her porch during a rare vacation. She watched her nephew playing in the yard, a child born after the invasion who had never known a world threatened by alien enslavement. Her communicator beeped softly. She glanced at it, a message from Wright about the Draconid vote. She smiled slightly, pleased by the outcome but more pleased by the sight of her nephew's carefree play. The vote to enslave Earth had indeed changed everything. But the true victory wasn't humanity's dominance over the galaxy. It was the creation of a society where no species would ever again face what humanity had nearly experienced. As the sun set over Earth, ships from a dozen worlds moved through the solar system. Allies, friends and partners in a new galactic community. The stars no longer represented a threat but a promise. And humanity, once dismissed as primitive, now helped guide the way forward. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Never underestimate a species fighting for its survival. But humans had learned something too, that true strength comes not from conquest but from building something better together.